Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Ruji Media. I'm your host Richard Morla, and today we're going to be talking about a very interesting subject. The subject is the following one: how to understand composition. Because do you know composition? What exactly is composition and how to use composition? Stay tuned, let's get started. Alright people, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my channel. Once again, I'm your host Richard Morla. Welcome to Ruji Media. So today we're going to be talking, as I already said in the intro, how to understand composition. It's a very important subject that many people have it confused. As a matter of fact, before me doing this vlog, I was discussing this topic last night with my friend and today with my PR. And we were discussing because what exactly is composition, how people understand composition, and actually what does that mean? I mean, let's break it down one by one. For instance, let's start talking about the technical aspect of what composition is. If we start with the technical aspect of what composition is, we need to talk about the rule of third. And then we need to talk about the golden ratio. Many people really focus themselves a lot on framing a lot just with the rule of third. Other people, for instance, macro photographers, they love using the golden ratio. Now, my question is, do you really understand composition? Because there is a cliche like, all right, like you don't need to learn composition, like, oh my God, you have to be fixed to it. But you need to understand composition in order for you to know when to break the rule. Now I have a great question for people who actually say that. Right, you're going to break the rule. Can you tell me examples of when can I break the rule? And how do I already know if I know composition? How do I know if actually I understand the rule of third, if I understand the golden ratio? So let's start one by one. The rule of third. Like normally you have a grip on your frame with 4 lines. In this grip, what do? You try to put your subject on interesting part where you can capture the scene so that your horizontal lines are straight. You heard that. We all heard that many times. Also, like your lines have to be straight. Like for instance, if you're taking a picture of a building, you know, like, all right, like those lines that the building have, they need to be straight, they need to be correct. And then once you understand that, then you can play with your camera vertically or diagonally, something like that. Yeah, I don't remember how to pronounce that word, but you understand what I mean. So, and then boom, there you go. But you're fixed. That's technical. I want you to think now completely outside of the box. And let's go in composition talking about ratio, different type of ratio, 1:1, 3:4, 16:9, and then how to use them within the rule of third. For instance, how I will learn to use the 16:9 ratio. And I'm going to practice in many different ways. I'm going to practice with my camera on a portrait mode, and also I'm going to practice with my camera on the landscape format or view, point of view, portrait point of view, or also I can do it the landscape point of view. And I'm going to take myself and I'm going to experiment with the rule of third and practicing a lot on the 16:9 ratio. And I'm going to take all kind of shot and I'm going to practice. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the 3:4 or 4:1, 4:4 ratios. Different camera, different manufacturer, they have different type of ratio when it comes to your camera. It's on you to go see your camera settings and see how many ratios or different ratios you have in your camera. And then once you have that, you're going to put yourself a goal like, all right, let me Google, let me read, let me buy a book and see what is the rule of third. Let me grasp as much of information I can. And also I'm going to watch in the blogs and tutorials, anything regarding the rule of third. But also I'm going to start playing with my ratio. Like 1 week I'm going to use 1 by 1. And then the other week I'm going to use 3 by 4, 4 by 1, 4 by 4, 16 by 9, 16 by 1. There are many different ratios. Whatever ratio your camera has or your phone has, you are going to use it, right? Because ratios are important. And then you're gonna say, this week I'm going to focus myself in the 1 by 1 ratio, just using the rule of third. And I'm going to see how I can create 12 images or 20 or 30, it doesn't matter, but you're gonna take 1 week on that. Then you're gonna take the second week, only working with the 3 by 4 or 4 by 4 ratio. And you're going to do the same kind of practice. And then you're gonna do the same with 16 by 9. And you're going to do that over and over again, because when you do that, you start understanding, not comprehending, understanding what the rule of third is, what different ratios give you, and when to use different type of ratio, and when actually you need to break the rule. That's the second topic. When do I need to break the rule of third? And the same that I just said about the rule of third is the same exactly for the golden ratio. Like you're going to do same practice with the golden ratio with different ratio that you have on your camera or your mobile settings. And by the way, that applies not only for photographer, also for cinematographer. So now that we have that part clear, now we're going to move, when can I break the rule? Because as a matter of fact, people say, yeah, you need to break the rule. You can't be fixed on a box. But do you know that when you breaking the rule, actually you are inside the rule? As a matter of fact, it's not a rule anymore, it's a law. And this law is called the Gestalt Law or the Gestalt Principle. I think I might be pronouncing that bad, I don't know, but you can Google it. Gestalt is G-E-S-T-A-L, Gestalt, and you put principles or law. And then you're going to find the following characteristic. Number 1, what is contrast and how contrast is applied? What is shadow? What is light? What is symmetry? How to see and spot different objects. Because when you see that, and this is what I was discussing with one of my friends in photography, is the following thing. Let's say, for example, you want to take a picture of a butterfly that landed right in the cup of coffee that you were drinking, or maybe in the plate, or maybe, I don't know, in the hair of your friend. And you see, wow, so nice. And you're going to take that picture, that boom, instant, because now you have your eyes trained and you're gonna do it. So if you take the picture and you go by the rule of third, or you go by the golden ratio, you're focusing on the subject exclusively. While the Gestalt principle or law tells you that once you understand composition per se, rule of third and golden ratio is which are the objects that you have around you that interact with your subject. That's very fascinating. Let's repeat that again. What are the objects that you have around you that they combine and communicate and have that conversation with your subject? And your subject, as I said, can be that butterfly, or it can be, I don't know, a beautiful spider, or it can be anything. It can be a tree, it can be a statue, it can be whatever you see. That's your subject. Now, the surrounding are the objects that complement your subject. And Gestalt tell you about symmetry, about rhythm, about contrast, about light and shadow, about movement, right? About freezing the momentum and also giving energy and rhythm to your subject. So, and then when you understand that, what kind of geometrical shapes do you have around you? For instance, if you see a butterfly, symmetrically speaking, it have curves. But around you, you might have squares. You also might have triangles. How can you complement that? And what I'm trying to say is breaking the rule is you thinking, I'm not longer focusing my subject based on, oh, this is the strong line of the rule of third, or the golden ratio tell me that right here I have it right. No, it's like, is this subject being beautiful at that particular moment? Why? And rather than you taking your camera and running, why don't you stop and observe? And I want you to start training based on the Gestalt principle by observing. What objects does that butterfly has around that make it look beautiful? What contrast? It's about light, it's about shadow. Is the light hitting the area where the butterfly is? Maybe it's not the light. Maybe are the colors around it. You see, maybe is the butterfly next to the, I don't know, let's say something like a cup. Maybe it's the butterfly that perspectively land on a way that now hit the eye of your friend that is in the other side. For instance, what is the objects around my subject that are complementing so that make my picture stronger? Because it's about light. If it's about the light and shadow, then how can you put it in perspective with the rule of third, having my horizontal line straight, my vertical lines have to be like that? See, that's what I'm trying to say. Come out of the box and start seeing contrast. Start observing light and shadow. Start observing colors. Start observing as well rhythm, movement. Because one of the principle of Gestalt that really caught my attention is the following one. Listen this. This was crazy. This like boom, blow my mind. It's very simple. It says the following. When you can stop motion to give rhythm and motion to something that is static. For instance, let's say you have a car and you have it, let's say, against a wall that is passing by that. How can you make that car freeze on time and give movement to that wall? When you start thinking like this, you're going to start taking very, very interesting picture. You're going to be taking very interesting composition because you're not longer thinking composition is all about rule of third or golden ratio. You actually expand your knowledge and you start seeing different. You're gonna take pictures that is about the color. Sometimes it's gonna be about the contrast. It's gonna be about light and shadow. It's gonna be about symmetry. It's gonna be about movement. It's gonna be about rhythm. So remember that. My challenge to you is the following one. Go out there and start practicing the rule of third with different type of ratio and take one ratio per week. And I would be very curious to see what are you capable of taking. And then when you finish your assignment of making pictures with different ratios using either the golden ratio or the rule of third, you're gonna move to the next level. Now you're gonna take 1 week taking picture only about light and shadow, how the light and the shadow communicate. And then you're gonna take 1 more week, and that week is about color. I want you to do composition that have colors that they are communicating with each other. And what is the conversation between colors? Remember that. And then you're going to take 1 more week about how you pick any subject that you want to take. For instance, you can go to the city and there is a statue there. I want you to see it and observe, only observe how the objects are interacting with your subject, which in that instance is your maybe fountain, or it could be, like I said, a statue. So like that, every week, you're gonna start practicing, and your eyes are gonna be trained to see immediately great moment, for you are going to be able to take pictures with different angles, different ratio, and really a stunning composition. So I would like you to do that. You have 1 week challenge. I would be very interested to see what are you capable of bring on the table. And I'll tell you what, you can write me down here below on my channel and say, hey, I have this composition here. I would like that you see it. You can share with me the link, or you can go to my Instagram, Ruji Media, and there you will find my link where you can send me the picture by email, or you can, like I said, type me a DM and say, hey, look, I wouldn't like to put my email on the YouTube channel, so I'm gonna write it to you here. So here it is. So tell me if you receive the images. I will review it with you, and I will be very glad to see what are you capable of doing. So remember, you go to Ruji Media. There you will have the information of my Gmail where you can send me this picture. I'm really looking forward to see that. And that's it, guys. Like, that is how I want you to start seeing composition, not based on rule of third, not based on golden ratio, but furthermore, now that you understand the basic, and in case that you don't know the basic, go for the basic, practice the basics, and then when you understand that, then you're gonna move to take different type of pictures, such as light and shadow, colors, ratios, yada, yada, yada. You know the rest. You are a very intelligent guy because you're watching this video, you follow me here on my channel. And by the way, if you're watching this video for the first time and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go down, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, because I'm loading video every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, every Sunday. Unbelievable. And right from the moment that I'm recording this video, we're going to load today 2 videos. And as a matter of fact, if you actually hit the like button and say the comment, do 2 videos on Sunday, you're gonna have 2 videos on Sunday. You're gonna have a tutorial and you're gonna have a vlog, but you are the one who will decide. Remember to follow me, Ruji Media, on Instagram, Ruji Media on Facebook, and also Ruji Media on Twitter. This is your host, Richard Morla, right here on Ruji Media. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to share, to subscribe, and hit the notification button. See ya on the next one.